welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for this awkward moment in Delve and Dash history as microphones are going nuts here. So,
they have coronavirus.
That's right. I am waiting for you. There it is. We've got everything. Yeah, a rip. That's exactly right. I think we got things going now. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Delve and Dash here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful Dungeon Master for the evening. Unfortunately, we are without a Derek/Dusk tonight. He couldn't be here because of pretty heavy storms in his area. So we hope that he is doing just fine and staying safe. And we're going to continue on trekking with our delvers here as we continue on this new adventure. First, a couple quick shout outs. Want to thank Twitch, Streamlabs, Team MZ, Many-Sided Dice, and our friends over at Little Dragon Corp. You can type in !Little Dragon in the chat to get a quick link to their website where you can order some awesome dice and other RPG gear. Don't forget to use the coupon code PROBONUS for 10% off of your order. So as we dive in this time, we are going to... Hey, Twitch chat, while you're there, if you guys are having trouble hearing the music on Twitch chat, please let me know and I will adjust my volume settings. I'm getting all kinds of weird audio levels for some reason tonight, and I'm trying to fix it the best that I possibly can. So just let me know in the chat, and we'll get it all set. We're back online. We're good. Last time, our party successfully talked Jamna down from taking an evening to snoop around the cultist caravans to find out exactly what kind of contraband they had on board of their wagons. They decided it'd probably be the best bet to wait until Waterdeep. Formulating a plan, they decided that they were going to try to basically sabotage one of the wagons, break it in a way that would cause it to crash, spilling some of its contents onto the road, so perhaps Jamna could get her eyes on some of the contraband that was contained within these wagons. All in the same time, possibly slowing the cultists down, where they were close enough to Waterdeep, they could just mosey on ahead and get themselves in a better position to see exactly what was happening once the caravan finally reaches Waterdeep. Does that sound about right to you guys? Sounds about right to me. The basics of the plan? Okay.
I wasn't here, so.
We also told Jamna we were from the Order of the Gauntlet.
You did.
Oh.
You told her that you were from the Order of the Gauntlet. And you did find out that she is, in fact, a member of the Zentarum, the Black Network. Everybody hates them. It's
because everybody's been messed up by Zets at some point.
That's right. There's 50-50. There's always a bad one out there somewhere. So at this point in time, you guys are getting ready to put your plan into fruition as you wake up from your next morning. This is basically you're not very far away from Waterdeep at all. You're going to arrive sometime before lunch. So all this after breakfast occurs is going to happen relatively quickly. Things are gathered back up. Horses are strapped and yoked back onto wagons. Guards get all their gear. Some go on horseback. And the caravan once again begins to move out. Before this plan takes place, what positioning are all your characters taking as this is going to unfold here?
I'm assuming Franklin will walk with me to the tree line to turn into a spider so that the plan can work out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow the plan.
Okay. So Zin and Franklin.
So wait, is the illusion thing not going down then?
I do have to be within 60 feet to cast heat metal, though.
He has to be within 60 feet of that. I guess you guys were going to do it on the... I guess one of you wanted to do the heat metal on the first wagon and then tip the second wagon? Was that still the plan, or are you guys just targeting that last wagon?
We're targeting the last wagon.
Just the last one, okay.
Yeah.
Very
well, if Franklin wants to turn into a spider, I can minor illusion him.
That would probably help out a lot.
with Zin.
Okay. Okay.
That way he can stay.
Actually, just come with me into the caravan.
Okay, I do that instead.
Just walk with me into the caravan.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Okay, so you're walking behind the wagons, or are you in the wagon?
In the wagon.
You're in the wagon. Okay, so you guys are in Lyle's wagon, the dwarf, who is paying you and Shard as well.
And it's covered correctly. It's a covered.
It is a covered one.
Correct?
Yes.
All right.
Let me get you guys.
Taunum would be up on, like, with the driver's seat,
Okay.
up on top of it.
Okay. So you're sitting there. It's kind of crammed with you and Lyle and his halfling teamster, all three on this like bench seating, sitting there, kind of rubbing shoulders a little bit. Shard, what was your plan here in the midst of all this?
I'm just pretty much gonna stay around the middle of the caravan doing what I normally do until things go down.
Okay. All right. And I think, Franklin, you were waiting for a moment where the road seemed to be a little bit raised. Was that what I was catching?
Yeah, so we can just tip the wagon, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hopefully you more of a chance for the wagon to kind of tip over naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With kind of like these, I don't know what you want to call them. Like maybe they were, so yeah. So the road doesn't flood in certain areas. Sometimes they put those little pits or drainage ditches on the sides of the road and things like that. All right. Well, you're making a bend. It seems as if the opportunity is perfect. No one seems to be suspecting anything as you guys are getting ready to put this plan in motion. Jamna's also kind of sticking close to you guys. She's been walking beside the caravan, but it's just a tick behind the wagon a little bit to the side. Every once in a while exchanging a glance with all of you to see if anticipating the moment.
Are we ready to go?
All right, I will cast Heat Metal.
Are you trying to do this quietly, discreetly?
Of course I am.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check as you do this.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Because I believe heat metal probably does have a vocal component to it, or...
Let's see. Yeah, verbal somatic material.
Oh, so it's all three. Okay.
But we're in the wagon. He's just peeking out real quick,
Oh,
so I'm so glad.
You can take advantage on that because of Zin coughing as you were.
I'm so glad you gave me that. Because otherwise I would have a 0 right now.
Because he appears to be helping you with this.
Okay, so now that's a 16.
16 is good. 16 is very good. Okay.
I went from 0 to 16.
Okay, so Franklin is peeking out the window. He's kind of moving his hands, and you can see him like whispering some things, trying to keep himself hushed and quiet. Zin is, when he starts to hear some of the whispers get a little bit loud, as Franklin's really putting all his energy into this, starts, making some noises, rustling a little bit inside, so everybody thinks it's him.
Pretend I'm throwing up.
And you start to watch as that metal axle on the bottom of that wagon starts to slowly glow. It starts as like a deep red, and then starts to slowly change into this bright orange glowing light.
And then I will wild shape into a tiny spider and rush over there.
Okay.
I'm going to, as he does that, I'm going to disguise self as Franklin using my Furbolg ability so I can go up or down however high I need to go.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go, oh man, I need to go get Zin some stuff to help with his sickness, and start walking towards the forest.
Okay, make a deception check with advantage.
Not good. Deception?
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I check. I'm pretty sure it's a 0. Yeah, 7.
A 7? Okay. You Your look is good. Like, you look exactly like Franklin. The impression was a little bit off.
It's Zen. Yeah.
Some of the good thing, these are pretty, low ranking level cultists. They're looking at you suspiciously as you kind of walk out. And then all of a sudden you hear this loud crash as the axle of this wagon gives way. And one of the wheels just completely pops off the back of this thing, rolls down into this drainage ditch and crashes along some stones and breaks into a few pieces. The whole wagon just seems to slam down on that one side. And both wheels of this thing, because the heat metal actually bent the axle, they go popping out and this thing slams, spilling stuff straight backwards off of the wagon. As the front end of this thing is like sticking up high, the horses like are weighing it down a little bit, but there's like this suspension and rope on the front that kind of keep it from, going crazy when they make turns and stuff. So this thing is just spilling out everywhere, spewing contents, boxes and crates. Barrels start rolling back towards the next caravan. Lyle and his team start moving the reins to quickly move some of the horses in their cart out of the way as they're dodging some of these things rolling back at them. Franklin, what are you trying to do as a spider as these things are just like
while I'm running up to that particular wagon, how much more stuff is in there that needs to fall out?
Like to unload the whole thing? You don't think it's all going to fall out? But you probably got about, I'd say, 10 to 12 boxes and crates.
Okay.
Have already
from underneath
spilled out.
it as a tiny spider. I'm gonna then wild shape into a dire wolf as big as I could possibly get to just knock it over.
Okay. All right. So you wild shape into the dire wolf, kicking basically the wagon just flops up into the air. It's almost like slow motion. You guys watch as these crates just slowly release into the air in slow motion. Panic. All out panic starts to take place as now there's a dire wolf standing there in the middle of all these individuals. There's probably like 4 to 6 cultists basically surrounding you right now, Franklin, on either side.
Next question. I want to blow through them and try to intimidate the horses so they start going all sorts of directions, but not forward.
You want to get in front of the horses?
Yes, just plowing through them to intimidate the horses to not keep going forward.
Okay.
Like howling and growling at them.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Okay.
I'm going to give you advantage because you're a dire wolf and these are horses.
I'm so glad you gave me advantage.
Well, this is happening. I
Because
want to cast Minor Illusion and have a second direwolf running out of the forest to join, so that it's less like rando direwolf middle of nowhere. Okay, now there's 2. That makes a little more sense.
What spell was that again?
Minor Illusion.
Minor Illusion. How big of a creature can you make with Minor Illusion? Can you make
5 foot cube, so it can be a
okay. It's probably it's probably a little smaller than that dire wolf.
Distance perspective,
distance
and it could be a lot bigger.
That's it. Yeah. 18, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's more than enough to intimidate these horses as they basically reel back and they turn around and they start charging off of the edge of this road, leaping.
It's probably gonna knock over more stuff.
Carrying, there's stuff flying everywhere, crashing down. You can see they're breaking and all this contraband is flying everywhere. The cultists are almost so shocked they're not really sure how to respond, especially the ones in the back here. These are probably more just like low-level guards of the cultist caravan. Most of the more important people you've seen around that covered wagon that was in the middle. But you can hear now there's shouts of alarm. People are brandishing weapons. As they see this dire wolf just basically barking and howling at these horses, and the horses take off, start scraping basically this wagon has almost lost all its wheels. It's just a platform basically with contraband. It's shattering everywhere, and the horses are starting to drag it down into the drainage ditch and towards like light foliage forest off to the side of the road.
When the big commotion starts happening, how far am I from the wagon on the tree line, basically?
You could have been inside the tree line. You probably would have had enough time to get there before it all
like
took place.
is that like how far from the wagon though? Is that like 30 feet? Maybe.
probably more like 40 to 50. I'd say probably
Okay.
40.
I'm gonna go like 10 more feet into the tree line, so I'm like out of view, hopefully.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna go invisible using my other Firbolg ability. Misty step 30 feet towards the wagon,
Okay.
and then walk the rest of the way into the wagon. And then drop invisibility and come out of the wagon. Like, what's going on? What?
Oh,
You know?
oh, of your own wagon?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So you're trying to hide.
Just to
Are
let
there-
them think I'm still there.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
So
Are
you're
there
playing two
still
parts.
any
Yeah.
wagons of theirs still up?
Well, their
Yeah,
wagon.
we only get one of theirs.
Yeah, we only got
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, you only got one. The other wagons seem to have come to a halt. Seems like the whole caravan is stopped, and it looks like these cultists are brandishing swords and things, pulling swords out. It looks like they're looking in your direction, Franklin.
That's okay. I can heal myself pretty well while in direwolf form.
I would like
And
to
while
run at-
while you're a direwolf, though, you hear and an arrow like lands like in between your two paws, and Dusk is standing on the top of the wagon, and he looks at the cultists and he's like, "I got it. I'll take it." And he starts like getting another arrow ready and pulling it back, and it looks like he's aiming it towards you, Franklin.
I'm gonna start running toward the forest.
Okay. Shard, what was that you were gonna do?
I would like to run. So there's a group of people around Franklin, right?
Yeah, it looks like probably about 6 of these cultists like pulled out what looks like scimitars.
I'm gonna run and do like a jumping tackle towards Franklin. Like
Okay.
I'm trying to pin him to the ground,
Okay.
but I'm only gonna go for his tail.
Okay. Perfect. Here's what I want to do. We'll call this kind of like a grapple check. So since Franklin, you started taking off, go ahead and make this acrobatics for you since you're basically in full sprint. Acrobatics is a direwolf. And we'll make this acrobatics for you too because you're kind of like jumping and lunging. This isn't more of like a strength thing. This is like a balance
And
aiming type thing.
I'm making athletics instead.
Unfortunately not for this one. Just the way
Okay. That's a 14.
14.
11.
11. You grab the tail, Shard, but the fur just kind of slips right through your hands. And now you're just laying on the side of the road as you're watching as the cloud of smoke is coming off of the direwolf as the direwolf is running towards the woods. Another arrow like strikes the ground next to you, Franklin. As Dusk keeps on just unloading. It does seem like a few of the cultists are giving chase, but you are much faster than them.
And the baby would, the illusionary one would follow after, and then as soon as it hit the forest, it would disappear.
Just disappear. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep running for a while until I'm very clear not in danger.
Okay. Okay. So you're just tearing off to the woods,
Mhm.
making your way into the light foliage outside of Waterdeep here. Shard just sitting there on the ground, like watching you disappear, prone on his stomach. Dusk
And
fire.
I'm gonna immediately like get up and like yell and scream like I'm trying to scare it away.
Okay. Excellent. A couple of the guards come up to you, Shard, and like, what was that? Should we get it?
Direwolf.
It came out of nowhere.
Must have had cubs nearby to attack group this large.
Make a deception check.
There was a direwolf cub there.
Yeah, can we say with advantage? 'cause
With
there was a
advantage
pup there?
because of what Totem did, yeah.
We're doing so good, guys. We had this really well planned out.
You did have it really well planned out. This was pretty good. This was probably
Well,
this is probably one of the best plans that actually really worked out for you guys, I think.
I have a -1 to deception, but I rolled a 20.
Oh,
That's
nice.
nice.
There you go.
Nice. Oh,
Nice.
it's guess that does make sense. They do get a little skittish with their young ones around. Oh, look at this mess. And it looks like you can see there's like 12 cultists now that are just like looking up like this. The horses have seemed to be like they're stuck because they're still yoked to this thing, and now this thing is stuck in the like ditch on the side of the road. They've gotten it stuck, and the horses are trying to pull out of the ditch on the other side and cannot because they're strapped to this stuck object. There is contraband laying everywhere, all over the road.
I want to go over to the horses and start using Mage Hand to undo the buckles so that they're able to get down.
Okay.
Soothe them at the same time.
And what at the same time?
Just sort of soothe them so that they won't bolt immediately, but...
Make an animal handling check for me.
Quick question. When the crates hit the ground, did the crates, like, break open?
A lot of them did, yes. Several of them did.
So
Some of them stayed intact. There were a couple that burst open. There was a barrel that opened up and just had like basically an entire barrel of gold pieces just went out onto the road.
It was 11.
11? You unstrap the first one. The first horse basically bolts into the woods. The second horse, you kind of calm down a little bit. It's still a little bit antsy. But one horse like flies in the woods. You can see like 3 or 4 cultists like taking off into the woods on the opposite side of the road than what Franklin went, chasing after this scared horse.
That's fine.
Before I come back, I'm just gonna pick some stuff that could be used medicinally, since that's the excuse I was given.
Okay.
Why I left.
Nice. Okay.
I'm going to recommend to the cultists that if there are wolves living nearby, that most of the caravan shouldn't stick around this area, and start directing the carts behind them to just kind of travel around this group that's now stalled.
Ooh, that's a brilliant twist to this. Oh, go ahead and make let's make a persuasion check with advantage on this one, Shard, because of that was a good play. Man, you guys are on.
Okay.
You guys are on fire today.
That's a 6.
with advantage.
If it hadn't been with advantage, it would have been a 0.
Oh.
One of the cultists kind of looks over to you, Shard, and is like, "Wait. We're a caravan. We're supposed to stick together. Don't you have someone that can help us? We've got to clean this. We've got to clean up this mess."
Not me.
What was that?
I do not know how to fix wagons. I think there is someone who can. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, if you could find them, that'd be great. It looks like this is a mess. It's gonna take us hours to fix this wagon.
Taunt him?
I will look.
He hates that he's gonna do this, but he's gonna do it anyway. He's gonna walk up. Perhaps it would be easier to send the others ahead and collect a fresh wagon and come back to, instead of trying to repair a wagon that is obviously damaged and is now down a horse. We're not that far from Waterdeep. I have connections there that would enable me to acquire a wagon quite quickly.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
That is a 19 plus something. Plus 7. That is a 26.
Nice. The one cultist. Now you guys can see there's a lot of other cultists that gather around, and they're quickly like the barrel that dumped the gold out. Basically, the 2 of them are down there. Like one's holding the barrel while the other 2 are just like quickly shoving the gold back into the barrel. There's a couple other things of contraband that are laying around that people are quickly trying to rewrap and stuff back in. It seems like they're trying to go as quickly as they can with the contraband and the stuff that's spilled out. It seems like nobody's really going to the wagon yet. The 2 that are like standing there, like basically looking at the wagon like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Because you guys messed it up real bad with the heat metal / direwolf appearance. It put a whooping on this wagon. And the one looks at you, Taunt, and is like, let me go. Just give me a moment. And he kind of walks back and starts heading up, and you can see a lot of those people, that strange robed guy with the hat on his head, that you guys saw like little tattoos peeking out. Like they're all getting out of like the covered wagon and trying to assess the situation and look around too, just from a little bit of a distance. looks like he's headed over towards that group to talk to them.
I'm gonna help clean up as best as I can, but I'm assuming they don't let me near it as much since there's so much of it.
You kind of squeeze in, and you can get a couple things. And you actually make eye contact with her because you see Jamna is like, her eyes are just like a little bit wide as she's looking at all this stuff that's kind of dumped out onto the road. And
Also, when Tanem went to talk to the guy, he very specifically looked disinterested in all the things that are on the floor
perfect.
or on the ground. Like, very intentionally, didn't look at the gold, didn't look at, just disinterested, like,
Oh, absolutely.
I don't care.
Oh, yeah. If with a 27, that's easily done with your check. But yeah, it seems like they're letting you help, but they're kind of keeping an eye on you as you.
I'm not. I'm helping. I'm not doing anything shady.
Okay, perfect. But
The shady stuff was already done.
yeah, lots of shade. You do get the idea that your plan definitely succeeded in giving Jamna the opportunity to get her eyes on this contraband and on some of the things that were on this, especially this last wagon. She can almost assume and fill in the blanks of the rest of it. After a little short time passes and most of the crates are packed, that cultist does come back over to you, Tanem, and so you said you have connections in Waterdeep that can get us perhaps a new wagon?
Yes.
By the looks of this one, and he looks over, and I mean, this thing is wrecked. I mean, if you were in like a car accident, this would be totaled. They could probably fix it, but it would take time, a lot of time.
And possibly a forge.
Yeah. Jionir says that this would be a great idea if you guys could possibly be willing to go ahead and secure this wagon and bring it back to us.
Well, as we are contracted with separate caravan, I don't think all of us would be able to leave, but if you send perhaps a member of your group and I can go procure one.
He ponders for a moment. One moment, please. And turns around and walks back, and you can see he walks back over to his leadership group. It's almost like he has to keep on walking back and forth before he can make any. He can't make any decisions on his own.
Yeah.
He has to get permission. Then eventually he comes over with another human male. This is Pelton. He can come along with you.
Very well, and I assume there shall be. At this point, he sort of glances at the ground. No questions asked.
Absolutely.
Good.
He kind of exchanges a glance with Pelton, then they look back at you, and then he just slowly walks backwards a few steps, and then turns, and the last thing that he takes away from you is his eyes as he's turning around and heading back to work and see what they can do to get the other horse kind of calmed down and get everything settled.
Tanem, what was the person's name that you said is there? Palin?
Pelton. Pelton.
Okay. Tanem would turn to Pelton and... Just a moment, I must inform my companions of the momentary change of plans. And he's going to simply turn and look at probably start with Zin because he's sort of nearby, and just using message is going to say, I'm going to take this one and we're going to go get a replacement wagon. I should be fine. Please keep an eye on the ones here. And so you
Okay.
hear that in your head.
All right, just don't do anything crazy while you're gone.
Same to you.
I always do crazy things.
And then he would turn. Is Franklin back yet?
I would say about now
Yeah.
you guys see Franklin coming out of the forest holding a bunch of different like herbs and spices and things that he had pulled out of the forest.
So he'll instead, since Franklin's still coming over, he will turn to Dusk, repeat the same message, and then turn to Shard and repeat the same message. And then when Franklin gets over there, look at Franklin, repeat the same message. So
Tell Franklin they wanted me to look for someone to fix their wagon. So if you could make a token effort, it would help sell the deception.
I can try.
Yeah, our total's pretty good at mending. It's just that's a little bit big of a mending job.
This could easily take a day's worth of casting.
You hear a sigh. Several of the cultists.
how
And then I'm
far
going to
away-
deliberately cast mending on something close to the yoke, but not on the yoke, so it doesn't affect the yoke at all.
Okay.
And then when it's like, it's too broken, it won't work.
Okay, make a deception check for me, Franklin. And
I mean, it is
and
too
chat-
broken though.
So
and chat
good at
chat
these.
chat just gave you a new nickname, Franklin. You got Teenage Magic Mending Turtle. I
love it. I love it so much right now. Too bad I rolled a 1.
Oh no. I've seen you countless times on this caravan fixing up people's wagons. Why is it that you don't want to fix ours?
I'll cast mending again.
Okay.
See, it won't work. You just watched me try.
They look
I can go fix this barrel, though. Then I'll start casting mending on the barrel,
okay, okay.
and it works.
They seem to be convinced by this. What are you doing, Siri? Stop that, Siri.
How far from Waterdeep are we at this point?
You're probably only it would have probably only been like a couple hours, maybe 2 hours by caravan.
Are the rest of the caravan sticking around?
Well, Shard made an attempt to try to get the rest of them to pass by, but it seems like the cultists are worried that they're going to get left here by themselves, and they're worried. And now they're worried about dire wolves.
Yeah, pretty much Tom is looking if he can get a horse, because it would be a lot faster to ride there than to walk there.
One of the guards from the cultist caravan, since you guys are going in to get them a new wagon, will let you borrow his horse.
Okay. And then I'm assuming Pelton can get his own horse.
You're on your own, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's capable.
Yeah, they definitely let them get horses.
Yeah.
Lyle, the dwarf that you guys are helping guard, like he's outraged by all this. Like he's this close to Waterdeep. And he starts like making a fuss about it. Especially to you, Zen, because he kind of like looks to you, Zen, and is like, we should be going.
I know we should be. I hate being on caravans.
Also walk over to him.
They've got 5 wagons. With all those people, one of them should know how to repair a wagon, correct?
Right. It was poor planning on their part. Really.
Absolutely horrendous planning. I mean, I'm this close to being rich.
Why don't they just throw all their stuff on the other carts? I'm sure they could make room.
Well, that's genius.
Yeah.
They really need to hire you as their next caravan coordinator.
No thanks. I hate caravans.
At this point, Tottenham walks up, and actually out loud, not in his head, He's going to look at thing. I'm going to go on ahead and get a new wagon procured from Waterdeep. It shouldn't take very long. We'll be riding hard there.
Have they tried the put all of their stuff on 4 wagons idea?
Based on how loaded that one is, I doubt that they would be able to accommodate all of them.
I mean, maybe if they make the other people actually walk like everybody else, they would make enough room.
That's not going to happen. Trust me.
Yes.
I know people like that, and they're not going to walk.
All right. I tried.
But yes, we'll be back. Hopefully we will be able to get you to Waterdeep by nightfall. And with that, he's going to turn and walk back to Pelton.
Yeah.
Mount up on the horse.
As you're walking away, like, Lyle looks at you and is like, "Please make it quick. There's gold to be had."
I am aware. Don't worry, it shouldn't take me too long.
Oh, by the way, Zin, did you see that full barrel of gold that just dumped out of that wagon in front of us?
Yeah, don't touch it. Don't.
Oh well, I wasn't gonna, I was gonna touch it. I just,
You remember the other guy that took something off their caravan?
Oh yeah, that was a.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like that guy.
That was a bad moment for this caravan.
Yeah.
May the gods help his soul.
Yeah. All of that jazz, whatever you. Yeah.
And Talnum basically strides away with haste, with the horse, with Pelton in tow.
Mounts up, and we're going to ride off
towards
in
Waterdeep.
the gallopy, or at least cantery department, so that we can get there in all haste.
Okay, so you guys are headed towards Waterdeep.
Mhm.
The rest of you back here at the caravan. It looks like a couple of the cultists have band together. Looks like they've scooped up maybe a couple people from the back wagons. It looks like they're trying to do some general repairs on this wagon. Eventually, at some point, you see some of the other cultists emerge out of the woods with the other horse.
I would try to help as best as I can in repairing the garret, but they're not going to repair it. There's no way they can repair it. So
it looks. I mean, the problem with repairing this is now you have like a very bent axle. They're gonna need pretty much a new axle for this thing. They could probably repair the wheels okay because they're just made out of wood, and they probably do have spare wheels on this caravan. The axles are gonna be what's tricky. So you guys all kind of band together. We're gonna everybody that's still there, you guys can go ahead and make perception checks for me.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
22.
22. Very good.
20 total.
20 total. Okay, you guys all are over here in this. As you guys are busy like helping them out, kind of like over your shoulder. 2 guys that were inside the closed caravan. One, the leader who you now have heard his name, Jaionir. And that guy that Dusk had overheard was named Asbera. Asbera, I think that's how you say his name. I think that's how I pronounce it. They seem to be talking a little bit about being frustrated. And you hear Asbera is kind of like, "Oh, this delay is going to... we need to get this fixed. I mean, we need to get moving." And then the Jaionir says, it should be just fine. I mean, the caravan headed north of Waterdeep is always looking for new wagons to supply their road building equipment. We should be fine. Are you sure? Yes, I think we'll be just fine. They need our wagons anyway. And it's just more of that back and forth uneasiness from the one wearing the hat to the one who seems to be like the mustache wielding leader of the the caravan.
Is anything said in Draconic to try to keep others from listening in? Because I do speak and understand it.
No, nothing is in Draconic. It seems to all be in basic common. It does seem like they're trying to hush, but the frustrated nature of this whole fiasco has made them a little bit complacent. And you guys just, as you guys are helping, just keeping your ears and eyes peeled or hearing some of this information.
The second person, Asbera, is that the person that they were escorting here from the last city?
Yeah, he boarded the caravan at Daggerford when you guys were there.
Okay.
He was the mysterious guy that all of a sudden started coming along with them.
Did I recognize the name of the leader at all?
No, you wouldn't recognize the leader's name. Okay. And you guys are busy doing that. Tonham, it doesn't take you guys very long to get to Waterdeep at all. You guys, of course, are met at the gate. The gates are open. You're met at the gates. It seems like there's a lot of city watch. You are from here, so you know a lot of the laws and the rules of Waterdeep already. It's not illegal to brandish and carry weapons throughout the town, but, you know, they don't like it when you start pulling them out and start using them on people in the middle of the streets.
Usually gets you in trouble.
It's a very packed city. It is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You can see there's several. You just remember the several layered, several storied buildings made of stone, and this large stone wall that kind of surrounds the entire place. It's kind of set up on a little bit of a plateau, and you can see this massive mountain that seems to separate the city from the ocean. There's also these looming giant statues that seem to be kind of held in place in different points of the city districts. As you make your way on the southern side of the city district, kind of between the dock ward area and kind of like the trades ward areas, kind of where you kind of pop into the city down in the southeastern end of the city. I don't have a map put in and roll 20, but I know we don't really use roll 20 anyway, so it's not going to help us.
I'm currently playing Waterdeep as a campaign, so I am familiar with
that. Now, I don't know it all by heart, but I know some of the pieces of the map. I don't know where it all kind of fits in, but
yeah, Tonham I'm assuming he would know where there was a place to acquire a cart somewhere near the southern entrance.
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's
literally lived there his whole life.
You lived there your whole life. You got the idea of these places. The dock ward can be a little skittish. You know, some of these places like can get kind of they can be dumpy places near the dock ward. Some of the sailors basically just come in.
He would look for something that wouldn't necessarily be a place that his family has a lot of connection with and does business with, but sort of that level.
Okay.
AKA he wants to use his name to get a wagon.
Got it.
So somewhere that his name will carry weight.
Okay. Let me search this up because I've got my D&D Beyond on my computer ready to go. So let's see. Oh yeah. You do find a place that sells some wagons that your family name might have a little bit of an influence in. It looks like this typical one that they have, it's kind of standard. It looks like it costs about they have priced at 35 gold pieces here at this place.
Tonham would walk in and he has his best noble air about him, and is going to look very impatient when he is there a desk kind of thing, or is it just
it's kind of like does
it look like a car dealership?
It kind of does actually. There's like a few wagons like just outside the place, So you coming up, you kind of, oh, I like this one. I want this one. You tap.
He's going to look very impatient that no one has immediately come to serve him.
This like halfling, male halfling with really frizzy hair, like approaches you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Can I help you?
I'm in need of a wagon. Immediately.
Sure. Which one would you like?
I need something that can travel quickly. And, quietly.
Oh, then why are you looking at this old stingy model? You want to check out this one over here. And he kind of like grabs you by the cloak a little bit and starts pulling you over to another that looks a lot more ritzy and fancy and more elegant. It has
Tonim
like...
pulls his cloak out of the halfling's hand.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry. I was just going to show you the quicker, quieter model.
I am capable of walking myself. Thank you very much.
Oh. Chat saying that I was a used car salesman at some point in my life.
I'm not interested in bells and whistles. I simply need a functional carriage that can move goods quickly and quietly. I believe you know what I am talking about. And he's going to give a look.
He like looks at you with wide eyes. Very well. Very well. Very well. This one will do just fine. I mean, just knock the dust off of it a little bit. It'll do the trick. And he pats it a couple times.
Can I do a perception check to see like how good of quality it is?
Sure, yeah, you can do a once over. Yeah. I would probably call this more investigation because you're like really going through all the nooks and crannies of it and like looking for any flaws in it.
That is a 14 plus 0, 14.
It looks like your average run-of-the-mill wagon. It doesn't look like anything spectacular, but it doesn't look like it's just gonna like you're gonna take it off the lot and the wheels are gonna pop off of it or anything.
Looking around, do I see anything that looks possibly more of what I'm needing, or
if you want to spend more money, I mean,
yeah,
they look like this one's kind of like your base model, and they've got a couple other ones. It looks like all of it is just flair though. It doesn't look like it looks like they made an effort to make the rides a little bit more comfortable than the other ones, but like it's just an effort.
Yeah.
You're not really sure how much it actually helps.
All right, so there's none that like actually look better made.
Not look better made. They just kind of like some of the wood like seems to be stained on some of the other ones, and they have like intricate little flourish, like maybe burnt into the side of the wagons and stuff. So it just look more decorative.
Yeah.
You got a lot of nobles that live in Waterdeep, so they have to like try to sell to those markets as well.
Yeah. He's going to look down on the halfling, and it will move quietly.
As quietly as your horses can pull it. Ah. He just smiles and grins at you.
There is no laughter, no smile, just a glare.
He grabs his collar and just kind of pulls it out a little bit, like he's like sweating. Boy, this is the man. I don't get paid enough for this.
How much?
Yeah, 35 gold.
You specifically told me I needed to dust it off myself, I believe, and you expect me to pay 35 gold for it?
I can dust it off for you, but that'll make it 40 gold. He smiles.
Please.
Ear to ear smile.
You always look at the guy that you brought and said to pay the man.
Oh no.
You look at Pelton. Pelton's like, what? You didn't ask me. You didn't tell me to bring any money.
No, don't worry. No, Tonim.
I only got like 3 silver.
Looks down, and you expect a noble to dust off their own caravan for 35 gold for this old wagon.
He starts to slink down. His neck almost disappears as he gets into his
Sorry,
shoulder.
buddy.
What did you say your name was again?
I believe you would know it. My name is Castellanta.
Oh, yes. Okay. Fair enough. Dennis, Luca, get out here with the towels right away, please. Quickly. quickly! And a couple other people like run out. There's like a human that comes out. There's like another halfling. Looks like halfling female and human male. They got the yes. What can we do? Dust this off. Now. Dust it. Dust it off. Yes. Cast on it. Would you like a water?
I have no time.
Okay. Just give them a brief moment. Quickly. Now. Fast. Fast as you can. And the other two are just like like dusting all the dust from the road off. And eventually, piece of cake. Looks like it's nicely polished. Just 35 gold.
30.
30. Make a persuasion check.
That was a 3. Plus 7, so that's a 10.
He looks panicked. He's like, "Look, I have a family to feed. I've been working very, very hard. This is a really hard business."
How about this? 30 for the wagon, 2 is a tip.
Fine.
Staring at him.
He's just like, take it. Take the wagon.
So, what Tandem is going to do is pull out 32 gold, hand it to him, but then as he's sort of, like, as they're walking out the door, I would like to attempt to sleight of hand dropping 4 gold.
Okay, you can make a sleight of hand check. Sure.
Just to see if, because, like, Tandem feels bad for this.
Yeah, Jason in chat's like, only a noble would lowball and call it a tip.
That is 16 plus 1 is a 17.
Oh yeah, you don't have any problem like just like dropping a few.
Yeah.
Down for you.
Just looking like he, is sort of very. I mean, he's a noble. He's careless with his money in some ways. He sort of is like just misses his hand, and just sort of accidentally like drops 4 on the floor. Purposefully make sure that he is standing behind Pelton when that happens, so that he won't see it. And then continues to walk out as if he didn't notice, because he's assuming that the guy not honest enough to.
The halfling to notice what you just did rolled a natural 20.
Ooh,
and he like sees it. He looks over to make sure that his other assistants that are like, as you're kind of pulling out of as you have hooked these 2 horses to the wagon and you guys are starting to kind of pull out, the other 2 are just kind of like finishing up, like dusting off the back of it as the wheels are basically turning on this thing. They're like, hurrying to get the thing dusted off. He notices those coins drop and he looks at them to make sure they didn't see. Looks back at them. Oh, good work. Head on in now. Head on in. Yes, that was great. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. And he just moseys on over. Tiptoes a little bit, looks around. Jolly good. Waves to another person walking by and then just reaches down, pockets it real quick, and then heads on back into the establishment.
Good.
Looks like he's got a bounce in his step as you look over your shoulder, leaving the place.
That's fine. That makes Tandem feel less like a horrible person.
Just a little, right?
Yeah.
All right. The rest of you are to no avail. This, Franklin, you can see this wagon is shot. You've done a number on this wagon.
Perfect. As I wanted.
And eventually, you guys hear the clippity-clop of hooves approaching, and a new wagon is headed your way. Looks like Pelton and Tonham are coming right back to you. Anything else that you guys would like to do or prepare for, or not really?
I'll hang out by the woods and make like I'm watching for dire wolves.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, how what like sort of percentage of the cultists are kind of surrounding and paying attention to that wagon now? Have they thinned out the ranks on the other wagons?
A little. They're still kind of spread out, watching each wagon, but it's definitely a little bit more spread out than it would be if they were just traveling. And you got a couple that are just basically just all working together, trying to focus on repairing that wagon as much as possible. What are you thinking?
It's not really a functional opportunity, I don't think.
Okay, gotcha.
I've spoken Draconic to these people before. It did seem like the head leader guy was able to understand me, right? I think I made that check, but I don't remember.
I can't 100% remember. I'm not sure if it was the leader that you said it in Draconic to, or if it was one of the other guys.
'Cause I know I wanted to speak Draconic to somebody important. I just don't remember who.
It might have been the leader. Yeah, you're not 100% sure. You weren't. I don't think you were sure if he understood what you were saying or not. He just kind of shot you a look, I think. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and watch that episode. I can't remember what episode number it was.
Okay. Well, either way, happens to walk by. I'm just gonna say in Draconic, it's a good thing they sent me to help, and then continue fixing barrels and crates and stuff.
Okay, make a perception check.
All right, that is gonna be a 22.
22. Okay. You get a strange vibe and a strange look back from Asbera over your shoulder. You seem to think that he understood what you were saying.
Good. I'm glad. Maybe we can have more dialogue.
Tonum, you make your way back. And you are now there, and you can see that some of these cultists are sweating, trying to fix this wagon, and now they see you come up, and they're just like wiping their hands with a rag. One of them just like frustratingly throws the rag down on over top of a barrel as you approach. Oh, look. Pelton actually accomplished something. One of the other cultists says, "Hey, shut up!" You just jaw back and forth a little bit as you pull up.
Tonim is going to look for the one that he was talking to before. That was going back and forth between the leaders and him.
Okay.
And is going to approach him. Sorry, I just got my Girl Scout cookies.
Oh yeah, you got to eat them as soon as you get them.
Yeah.
You totally do.
Yeah. Is going to walk up to him and very casually. Sorry that took a bit longer than intended. Hope we made it back in time.
It's good. We just need to get this stuff loaded up onto the new wagon as quickly as possible.
Very well. Favor completed.
He looks at you. He's like, "Favor? You don't expect to be?
Complete?
I can pay you back for the wagon if you'd like."
Money is not always the payment that is required.
Am I near her? Near him when he says that?
I'm assuming you guys are all kind of together at this point.
I just like give you the biggest wide-eyed look, and I'm like shaking my money pouch, and you hear nothing. Like,
let's just say a favor completed is a favor returned at a time of need.
He's like, right.
I mean, if you want to pay me the gold, I'll take it. You know.
I'd feel better about it. Yes. How much was it?
I mean, you still probably owe the favor. It's just
Pelton's looks like it was 35. He kind of looks at Totem and kind of gives a wink.
Dang.
After the experience with the halfling used wagon salesman. All right. He goes, it looks like he talks to the leadership a little bit. Comes back with a pouch of 35 gold and hands it to Zin.
I mean, you still owe Totem a favor. It's, I mean, you're just.
Oh, no. We don't do favors.
No, yeah. I mean, it's too late.
We pay with gold.
No takesies backsies. Like,
what does that even mean?
It means you can't take back the opportunity that Totem gets a favor.
I think you're just making stuff up.
I think you are confused now, and you're gonna give Totem a favor.
What favor do you need from me?
Whatever favor Totem wants from you.
I like connection. Think of it this way. We part ways, I never meet you again. You owe me nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a time of need, you happen to be around. Maybe you can assist me.
Boom, favor done.
I would not ask you to give your life, don't worry. I would not ask for anything beyond what I have done for you.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to give my life anyway because I just...
Exactly, it's not fair.
It's a wagon, that's it. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
a wagon for a life just doesn't sound like a...
Can I
But a
hear
wagon
this
for a
whole
whole
conversation?
Yeah, you can hear this whole conversation, yeah, sure.
Yes. I look back from my post at the edge of the wood, and I peer at him from like over her shoulder, and I make this some.
What?
I missed it.
I'm
I
trying to
typing
insinuate that Totem is that.
Are you insinuating I'm gonna try and make out with him?
I'm insinuating that like that Totem might be hitting on him.
No.
You're yeah,
There's no vibe behind that.
maybe he's taking the wrong yeah, catching a
He
different
can't hear
hand.
the full conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, whatever. If we never see each other again, fine.
Exactly. No harm.
He's got the gold. As far as I'm concerned, I think we're all good.
Totem, do you want the gold? Because if not, then I'm assuming this gold is for me helping fix the wagon, trying to fix the wagon all day while you were gone.
Tonem is gonna look and just in his head say, later we'll discuss this.
It's probably been about 4 or 5 hours. It's probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon at this point.
Yeah, that's my
You get
day.
moving.
So the
I
caravan
could have been
Need
playing
help loading
hacky
up?
sack.
the caravan pulls out. You guys can head on back. It takes you about 2 more hours, so just probably about dinner time as you guys roll in to Waterdeep. It's an extravagant city, enormous. I mean, I think Zin has probably been there before.
Yes.
Zin and-
I wanted to talk to you about that.
Zin and Dusk have probably been there before. Ani, your character, Totem, has grown up there like his entire life, so
Mhm.
he knows all about Waterdeep. Would a Franklin have ever seen a city like Waterdeep before?
He went from the coast to wherever he was in the swamp, so probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, you've never seen civilization like this, Franklin. This is people living on top of people, stacked in these buildings and structures made of stone, all handworked, elegant. Probably the most modern city of the north. It's got these massive walls that surround it and gates, and you see guards everywhere and people everywhere, just all different types of races and shapes and sizes. Shard doesn't like cities, but would he have been in Waterdeep before?
If he was not deliberately sent there, probably not.
Okay, so Shard probably knows of Waterdeep, but has probably never physically been in the city himself, trying to avoid it as much as possible. So you guys do sense an uneasiness from Shard as you guys approach into the city gates. It seems like the city watch and guards kind of do a once over of all this caravans going through. They don't really peek in too much. They're just kind of checking out. You know, they'll pick like a random box and kind of open it up and then let the others pass through. Moving into the busy streets of Waterdeep, and the caravan just continues to move. And at this point, when you guys get to this location, it seems like a lot of the other wagons start to break off and move on to different streets, maybe headed towards different buildings to unload materials, maybe to head towards the main marketplace, which is in the central area of the city, to sell their wares there, set up a booth or get a table. Same thing goes with everything else. These things start to separate, except for the 5 in the front. It looks like they head into the middle of the city, and I believe there's the high road kind of cuts right through Waterdeep and goes north to the northern gate of the city. They seem to be just taking their 5 caravans and heading straight north through the city, like they're going towards the northern gate of the city itself. What would you guys like to do?
Could we consider that we had taken like a short rest
Oh yeah.
in the amount of time that's passed?
Yeah. The travel is definitely can be a short rest.
Is it late enough today that they'd have to spend the night in or near Waterdeep, even if they were going north?
Yeah, you get a hunch that they're probably going to find a place to stay. You're just not really 100% sure where because they haven't stopped at this point.
I'm going to use Arcane Recovery to get back my spells that I spent.
Okay. Absolutely.
And I have my wild shapes back. So
Nice.
I'm going to Tiny Spider and follow around the cult caravan.
Oh, excellent.
Before that happens, Michael.
Yeah.
What I know about the Yawning Portal Inn.
Yeah, you've been in Waterdeep before. You know about the Yawning Portal.
I would consider
you, Dusk, and Autumn all know of the Yawning Portal Inn.
I would consider this city probably one of Zin's favorite cities, just because of how big it is and magically endowed it is.
Oh yeah, and there's people everywhere here. I mean, you can't walk down the street with. I mean, you know, imagine your New York City, if you will, of Dungeons and Dragons here in Faerun. That's the vibe you get.
Yeah, I assume that Zin and Dusk would stay at the Yawning Portal Inn whenever we're in this city.
Okay.
So I would just, before Franklin leaves, I figure you're going to go scout those carts while they go wherever they're going. Just try to find the Yawning Portal Inn whenever you're done. I'll collect your gold for you. We get gold when we're done, right?
Oh yeah. Actually, at this point, Lyle and Samerdag, who hired you, basically hand over the payment to you guys. And Samerdag is super excited of how well that you guys protected his shipments. And he tells you, oh please, at any point, at any time, if you're ever in the area and you need work, I've got you covered.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
And Lau kind of seems to...
How much were we paid? I don't remember.
It was 2 gold per day from Samerdag, I believe. Or no, 3 gold per day from him. And 2 gold per day when you guys picked up being hired by Lyle to help with his as well. Whenever the whole charade of the actors was uncovered.
Excuse me.
Didn't we already get the gold?
I think you already added it to your character sheets at the beginning.
Got it. We just didn't officially get it.
Yeah, because I didn't want to forget.
I don't think that I did.
I don't think you would have. You got 2 gold pieces per day of this journey from Daggerford, so that would have been about 10 gold for you. And it seems like Lyle's more interested in a quick goodbye with you guys. He kind of makes his payments, gives you his thanks. He appreciates all your help, but now he's ready to go get rich.
Right.
and he wants to move
Cool.
on, and he wants to sell his wares for as much money as he possibly can.
It's cool.
You know?
It's worth it.
Yeah.
But like, I assume Franklin would have taken off already.
Like,
Oh yeah, I would as soon as I could have. I would have started following the cult caravan.
perfect.
Yeah. So we'll just say I took your gold and I gave it to you when I meet up with you again.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Um,
Franklin, you
I would make sure that the caravans get where they need to get and then head to the yawning portal, basically, because I am tired of caravans.
tired of caravans, gotcha.
Yeah.
You're following this caravan as a spider. It continues to move north. It actually goes up to the northern gates of the city where there are some stables. This is a real rough area. Probably in Waterdeep, this northern area tends to be the part where you get more homeless individuals. The housing doesn't look as good. It's kind
The
of.
north is where the nobles live.
I think there's
The North Ward.
There's a North Ward. Well, I think the North Ward was the. There was one part like near the northern gate that's kind of like a. I don't have my
The
book.
Sea Ward is a little less, but like the really poor people are down by the Dock Ward and the South Ward.
Yeah, I think though that there's a small section in the North Ward right before the gate that's kind of like, almost like a little bit of a slum. I think the nobles are kind of down a little bit from the North Gate, but on the ocean side of the high road in the middle. In this
I
area.
don't know, I was just looking at a map.
Yeah. But you get to that spot, and it seems as if they go ahead to the stables and they pay for their horses to be well taken care of at the stables. And it looks as if most of the people that were guarding, they go to like, it's like an inn near the stables. And pretty much all the caravan goes into this inn from that point.
That's the field ward, and it is the city slums.
The
It's the
most northern one.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, it's the very top of the city.
There's something place. Yeah, there's some place called the something of trolls. Is there like a troll place? And then it's right to the right of that.
I don't have
Seriously.
names like that.
Okay.
I just saw the field ward and then looked it up.
It's on my wall back there, but I can't read it from here. So it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, what did I miss? I dropped for just a moment.
Oh, it's all good. We're good.
Like, oh, hey, you don't get to hear this.
Yeah, Franklin, you noticed that the cultists kind of drop the horses off at the stables to be well taken care of. It looks like they pay them handsomely at the stables to take care of them. And then there's basically across the street, there's a pretty big tavern, and they all kind of go into that tavern.
What is it called?
That's a good question.
The good question.
It doesn't give me one, so let's find a name for this tavern. For all you dungeon masters out there, there are some really good tavern name generators out there that instantly give you tavern names. This one is called the Brave Giant Tavern.
Sounds like a good name.
It looks very rustic. Made this.
Okay, I'd like to follow like the important people up to their rooms and see, kind of eavesdrop and see what's going on.
Okay. It seems like when you make your way as a small spider into the large open room, it has a large hearth and fireplace over in the corner. It seems to be burning a fire. It seems like they're all jovial and just having a great time. All the cultists. It looks like most of the patrons here right now are these people that you guys have been with, and it looks as if the important people have just kind of got like a corner booth and are sitting there just relaxing with a mug of ale and some simple breads and foods and nuts and things.
Cool. I'll just chill underneath the table as a tiny spider.
Underneath the table, and Franklin just goes there and he's chilling under the table. And as the rest of you are getting ready to head back to your areas,
Would I have been aware of Franklin's spidery espionage?
I'm sure you guys
I
would
would've
have.
let you know. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys would have seen him, and he probably would have been ready to. And the others in this group are well aware of what Franklin usually does in these moments by now.
Yeah. That's why I talked to him beforehand to let him know where we're gonna be. He always wanders off whenever we're in a city.
But you hear them talking that in the morning we'll meet up with Ardred. Ardred will get us set up with he's the leader of the guard with the High Road Charter Company. We'll get it all set up. We'll be they'll be loading up building materials, and we'll be headed off at first light in the morning. And you hear the other guy say, "Oh man, how do you guys do all this travel?" And the leader of the cultist caravan, you can kind of hear him say, "In the end, it will all be very, very worth it." And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.